Greetings, all you Jackson Jennets, and welcome to your daily dose of donkey with Ginger. It's something special. We're going to call it Miracle Week. The Steelers are alive. We had a great homage to the Ben Roethlisberger career. I think he threw for like 3 yards a pass. It was quite impressive. I am joined by Laskers. I am joined by Gingy. I will let them break down the magic that happened this weekend, and then I'll get on my little soapbox rant, because you know that's what I do. So, Gingy, week 17 should be the end of the season, not the end of the season. Ben Roethlisberger, one last time at Heinz. Break it down.
Whoa, Gingy in the house. Whoa, donkey. Slow down there before we start talking about last times and Ben and that. You know, you can get me all excited again like last weekend. That was quite an emotional ride for a Steeler fan like myself. Ben going out with a win. Not necessarily the guy you probably wanted to see in the air, you know. The low amount of passing yards, not really any no homage to the past of the big bombs and the running Ben, but definitely enough to lead that team to a win. Great to see. Laskers.
Well, I'm going to counter Donkey's 3 yards and say Ben threw for 5, roughly, a little over. And, he did pass a little way too much, but it was an awesome game to see that for more than likely Ben's last game at Heinz. And I know we were all a little teary-eyed watching that at the end of the game, watching him run around the stadium, getting high fives from everyone. It was a awesome sight to see. Not exactly the Ben we wanted to see, but it was still awesome.
I had one kid rocking a number 7, another rocking a number 97, and they gotta stay up way past their bedtime. Which, considering I live in Alaska, means I let them stay up till about 8 p.m., so no one judge me too hard, okay? They were way up past their bedtime, which ended up not mattering because school's been canceled all week up here due to high winds, which in my stream is laggy. I'm sorry, it's windy again, and shit seems to be going down. But there was something magical that happened in that game to me that I want to touch on. This guy who's been the absolute focal point of what is wrong with how the Steelers draft, Kendrick Green, misses the game. J.C. Hassenhauer, the nobody, no drafted kid from Alabama, comes in. And Laskers, it felt like there was actually a push up the middle. What was that?
I was shocked. He should definitely play this week because Green is not the answer at all. And Najee ran for 188 yards. I think we need that push.
Also, I got a little mad at Najee for that 37-yard touchdown he went, because if he just falls down, we get to take a knee. But that's neither here nor there. He scored the touchdown. We won by 2 scores. Ben got to take a knee anyway at the end, thanks to... Who ended up with that football? Was it Witherspoon that ended up with it? I don't even remember.
It was either Witherspoon or Trey Norwood. I don't remember which.
It was Norwood. You're right. It was the rookie. So, yeah, he gets my go-to there. But Gingy on the other side, Baker Mayfield at one point with 11 straight incompletions. The Browns threw like 13 of their first 16 passes against a team that can't stop the run. And Depoy, the boy, TJ Watt came up very, very large in this game against the Brownies.
That whole defense came up large, donkey. They were flying around making tackles. What are we looking at there? 9 sacks of Baker Mayfield?
7.
It was 9 sacks, yes.
Oh, was
it?
Yeah, it was 9. Sorry, I miscounted 2.
Even Highsmith got a couple in there.
Highsmith.
For some reason, the Browns have a rookie backup at right tackle, and they're leaving him one-on-one with TJ Watt. I mean, that's a great idea. Hell, I think one play they left him one-on-one, and fucking Tuska schooled that boy so bad he got himself a sack, if I recall correctly.
Tuska had one. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think even your boy Mondu got in the party.
Mondu had one. That hair was flying, donkey. It was going crazy down there, and they really didn't have any chance on offense to get anything together. They good runs by Chubb, and I'm sure you're into the utilization of that possibly, but dang, I don't know.
What utilization? That dude had like 9 carries the whole game, and 2 of them were for like 30-plus yards. I don't
12.
understand what the Browns are doing what Baltimore did to us in the first matchup. We know we can run the ball, so we're going to pass it. It's the goddamn Todd Haley special. I know you can't stop the run, so I'm going to throw it 80 times. That's what I like to call the Todd Haley special. It's predictable, it's stupid, and it loses you football games. Thank you, Cleveland. Welcome back to the cellar of the AFC North where you belong. And Ben, you got to go out the way you should. You got to take that moment in. Hopefully this time it's for real, because if you come back one more season, I'm going to puke on my couch. I love you. You're a great quarterback. But as last week showed it, the game's kind of passed him by. Fair?
Oh, I agree. That's definitely fair. It wasn't a good showing from Ben. Nothing really downfield, and I don't know. It was disappointing. I expected him to come out and show out, but it didn't happen.
This is all I have to say about Ben showing is that interception to end the half. I tried to explain to my wife how it's okay the half was ending. She goes, that's not okay. He doesn't even know where he's throwing the ball. It was to the completely wrong team. And I was like, you're not wrong, but it's okay, babe. It's the end of the half. She goes, no, it's still not okay. And I'm just like, oh,
Well.
okay, I'll let you go.
Well, it's not completely untrue. Donkey, it's like I said, it is if in his last run, you'd understand really the skill set that made him the guy who's gonna be a first ballot gold jacket guy. That skill set ain't the same anymore. In order to elongate his career, he had to modify that game, and Ben did what he could, and he's still a hell of a leader. That's what keeps the Steelers in the playoff hunt every year, still relevant, even in the extra long, super packed 18-week season here. We're still relevant in week 18, playing relevant football, not pride football, relevant football.
Let's go Colts. Oh wait, Jaguars.
What? Yeah. Bartender,
Jaguars.
another round for that man.
Jaguars.
Yeah, we'll get into that here in a minute. But, I mean, when you look at this, that was anemic passing. Not a single receiver averaging double digits of reception. Ben, unless he has a show out, and again is going to end in the bottom league in deep ball accuracy, deep ball efficiency. It's hard to see what he was turn into what he is now. And it has hindered the Steelers' ability to call plays, I believe, the last 2 years. But at the end of the day, you're right. He seems to... This team, whether it's him, whether it's Tomlin, whether it's that defense, seem to be not losing. I mean, Mike Tomlin just set the record, 15 straight seasons without a losing record. You got to give kudos where kudos is due. Has he had Ben the whole time? Yeah, but he also did in 2019 without Ben. I mean, they're both great players. They're probably both are great personnel, not players. One's a great player, one's a great coach. Probably both first ballot Hall of Famers unless something crazy happens in Tomlin's career. And it was a fun time to see Ben get to go out on top with a old school Steeler performance of defense and running the football. I think that's what every Steeler fan would want. They probably would have preferred a couple deep passes, maybe to Claypool, vintage Ben 60-yard touchdowns. We didn't get it, but at the end of the day, can you really argue with a W? Can you really argue with a W against the Browns that cement the Browns in the cellar of the division? Like, is there a more satisfying way for a final home game?
Nope. Not at all. Especially, I'm sure a lot of the fans there were thinking, and I wonder if anyone on that team was thinking about last year. How last year ended at Heinz Field during that game.
Yeah, the Browns won their Super Bowl, and that's shown by some Browns fans thinking they would get in some trolling. I saw the sign on the TV of you holding the crying Ben Roethlisberger from last season. How does it feel to know the quarterback you're probably about to pay $35 million a year has beaten Ben Roethlisberger a whopping once? How does it know that a quarterback that you passed on in the 2004 draft for Kellen Winslow has gone 23-3-1 against your franchise? How does it feel to know you've had more starting quarterbacks in the last 3 years than the Steelers have had in the past 20? Seriously, Cleveland, if you ever want to show up, you should try winning first. But hey, it's okay. There's a reason why you're in the cellar. There's a reason why you belong in the cellar. Your team was uninspired. It looked like you didn't come out to play. You have Austin Hooper, who doesn't drop the ball, dropping the ball twice. You have a coordinator who knows Baker Mayfield's hurt and is trying to throw the ball, which, Laskers, ask Gingy. If to beat the Browns, what did we...
Make them throw.
Make them throw. We didn't even make them throw. They did it for us. That's why you're a last place team. That's why you're a bottom rate organization. And that's why you're going to stay where you belong. And once again, you get to look up and realize if it's not the Steelers in front of you, it's your brethren from Ohio, the Cincinnati Bengals. So let's get into that game. The Bengals beating the Chiefs, Gingy. Legitimate contender this year.
Any given Sunday in the AFC, Donkey. As you can see, I mean, the Bengals defense is still sauce. But, man, that offense can drop some on you.
Yeah, like Jamar Chase was balling.
Drop
Did you see
some.
that DB? I watched that game. Did you see that defensive back do Jamar Chase's touchdown dance in front of him after he stops him? And then the next play get burned for a touchdown? Jamar Chase like, yeah, bro, how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, it usually doesn't. Usually doesn't, talking that big game.
And then we got to see the other one. The Baltimore Ravens almost killed their hopes, although I guess they still have some chance of being alive. A poor showing by a team whose defense, since letting Matthew Judon go, has been, let's be honest here, less than stellar. And a team that passes the ball better when Lamar Jackson's not there, but can't run the ball anymore the way they used to. Does Baltimore have a problem on its hands?
I definitely think they have a problem.
I don't know.
Any problem for you at Baltimore?
Yeah, I don't know, Donkey. When we're thinking about a team that's built around Lamar Jackson, and there's no Lamar Jackson, what do you think? They're going to be a problem?
I do, and hear me out on this. Backup quarterbacks in this division against the frickin' Pittsburgh Steelers always guess. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I fail to tell you. Get into the Baltimore game. I want to break down playoff scenario for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So first and foremost, we have to beat the Baltimore Ravens. Plain and simple. Let's go. Step 2, the Jacksonville Jaguars have to beat the Indianapolis Colts, which Laskers hit me with the stat line for that.
Oh, what do you want? What kind of stats you want for that?
The Jacksonville Jaguars have not lost to...
Oh, man, I'm going to have to go look at my text because I don't remember. It's been a long time.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have not lost at home to the Indianapolis Colts since 2014. You heard that right. There are three-win seasons in there and a one-win season in there, but they have not lost to the Indianapolis Colts at Jacksonville since 2014. Gingy, is that a ray of hope?
Boy, I don't know, Donkey. If you didn't see Jacksonville Jaguars this season, I don't know. Do they have anything to play for, to not play for? Or are they
They've locked
into
up the
pick?
last place. They've locked up last place, so they have nothing to
when you
lose for.
consider your fan base is showing up in a bunch of clown outfits, I think as a player I would be utterly embarrassed to not show up. Just think of the psyche that does when your own fans are calling you clowns. I mean, not a good showing. It's like when the Dog Pound used to wear paper bags over their face and all the Browns talked how embarrassing that was. I mean, so they have to show for something. All of them are playing a job. They can show up. I really don't see it happening, but I show up. And the fact that, Gingy, did you watch that 1-15 Jacksonville team? That might be the worst team I ever saw play football, but they somehow beat the Colts. So, I'm just saying.
Well, there's always a chance. What did I just say? Any given Sunday, but got to take care of business at home first, or on the road, as the case may be.
Right. And by the way, if anyone's curious, they're not the worst team I've ever seen play football because I watched that 0-16 Lions team play, and my God, the highlight of their season was Dan Orlowski stepping out of the back of the end zone and not even realizing he did it while quarterbacking for the Detroit Lions on that 0-16 season. That was quite impressive. So I give them a slight edge on that 0-16 Browns team. Is that right? They had one of those too?
I believe so.
Jag, yep.
Yeah. So those are the only two teams that I think were worse than that Jaguars team I watched go 1-15. That leads us to, so let's say Steelers win. Let's say Jaguars win. That comes to Sunday night. Would the Chargers and Raiders dare just take knees at each other the whole time so they both can make the playoffs? Because in that scenario, if they tie, they would both make the playoffs because both of them beat the Steelers head-to-head. Would they dare take knees if for some reason on Miracle Sunday, the Steelers win, the Jaguars win, and you have the Raiders-Colts, which the Steelers at this point would just need one of them to lose?
Chargers.
All right. Who did I say?
Colts.
Oh, yep. Colts already lost, so forget them. We have the Chargers playing the Raiders. We just need one of them to lose. Would they dare take knees in the face of the NFL and being like, this is why, for the sake of competitive football, everyone plays at the same time on the last week? Would they dare, Gingy?
You know, Donkey, if the entire decision is made around game, they might. It interested both teams. However, Donkey, let me tell you why they won't. All right? This action-packed Week 18 football has been brought to you by a massive television contract deal in which you can see all of these networks are getting a little piece of that this weekend. Saturday, Sunday, and Sunday night games. If they kneel that game out on Sunday night on NBC, Chris Collinsworth is probably coming locked and stalked down there. All right. There's no way
TV's
NBC
gonna be on mute, so I don't
There's
care.
no way that NBC allows there not to be a game played and has their primetime NFL fans watching two teams kneel out. That's not going to happen. No way.
I would
no one's
watch
gonna let that
every
happen,
knee.
Donkey.
I would watch every knee if it happened because that would be the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even be mad as a Steelers fan. I would just be like, this is what you get, NFL. That's what you get for praising the almighty dollar over competitive balance, over integrity.
That's what you get
Well,
for praising the Raiders.
Well, that's my take, Donkey. That's the reason why I don't think that can happen.
Okay, well, let's get into it. Before we get to the Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, I want to get into a kind of fun thing about ex-Steelers. There's a lot of ex-Steelers making the playoffs this year. I mean, James Conner in Arizona, Philadelphia with Steven Nelson, possibly the Chargers. The Steelers can end, though, the playoff hopes for one of last year's Pittsburgh Steelers. Do we end enough hopes for Big Al? Is that going down this week?
Yeah, I think the Steelers do. I mean, I know how you feel about backup quarterbacks and the Steelers, but I think the Steelers got Huntley's number.
Huntley's the perfect type of guy that beats us, though. He just reminds me of that Allen guy from Baltimore, where you don't expect the legs, but the legs do it, you know? When you watch him, he's been more of a drop-back passer for him than Lamar has been, but he has the ability to run it out there. And say what you want, I think Ben's going to be drained this week. I think that whole team's drained this week, and Najee balled out. I don't know, can Najee do that 2 weeks in a row? And remember, he's never touched the ball this much in his life in a 12-month span. And let's be honest, he doesn't ball out last week. Do the Steelers win that game? Probably because Baker sucks, but
It'd be close.
it would have been closer, yes. So, Gingy, we have this game. I believe Doyle and Ricard just got COVID list, so that's them without one and their fullback. What do you see happening between these Pittsburgh Steelers and those Baltimore Ravens?
Well, I think it's going to be, you know what's coming, Donkey. One of them slobber
An
knockers.
explosion?
It's going to be one of them slobber knockers. It's going to be one of them
No,
snot
slobber
knockers.
knockers is the. We're not WWE in here. It's a damn snot knocker.
It's going to be a snot knocker, Donkey, for certain. This week we're going to have two teams, AFC North, two teams who I do not think are in prime form right now in the season.
No. No.
And they're both going to, but the heart is still going to be there for the both of them. We're going to see is a lot of physicality. Going to be a lot of aggressiveness, and it's going to be determined in which group of them boys wants to win up front.
I hear you on that. What if I was to tell you, Laskers, before we get into your take on this, what if I was to tell you, I think the biggest thing is you have I'm going to say 2 out of 4 potential Hall of Fame coaches currently coaching right now that I think, there's 3 coaches I think are Hall of Famers right now coaching in the NFL. And you guys feel free to tell me if I'm crazy here. But Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, and Mike Tomlin, I think are Hall of Fame coaches right now. Fair? Fair list?
I mean, you gotta put Mike Tomlin in that list when he hasn't had a losing season in 15 seasons.
Yep, as a Super Bowl. There's 2 coaches I think have borderline credentials. A lot depends on how Tampa Bay does the next couple. That's Bruce Arians, and that's Harbaugh over there coaching the Baltimore Ravens. Gingy, is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And then everyone in Seattle is going to be mad at me because I didn't say Pete Carroll, but I don't like Pete Carroll. That's the main reason I didn't say Pete Carroll, to be quite honest with you. And he's had a lot of bad years. I think he has to have one more great year with Seattle to be Hall of Fame in my opinion. So, what I'm saying here, and I think the biggest thing is, Mike Tomlin, Harbaugh have always been really close to each other on record. They always flip one wins, then the other one wins 2, then the other one wins 2, and they always seem to split season series. Fair to say?
Definitely fair to say.
Do you realize that Harbaugh's going to let Mike Tomlin get a 3-win lead in the series?
I don't think he's going to let it, but it could happen.
I mean, this is going to be like Harbaugh's going to run on the field and not just get in the way of Jacoby Jones. He's going to straight up tackle Ray McCloud, okay?
Yeah, hearkening of times past and coaches making themselves known on the sidelines.
What do
Yeah,
the refs do if that happens?
I don't know, but so anyway, Lasker, and here is Harbaugh has to come into this ready to go. This is a guy who, if he continues his trajectory, probably has one more good, deep playoff run and 10 more years of success. He's probably a Hall of Fame coach. Tomlin's a Hall of Fame coach. I understand Ben just had his great going away. I feel there's just going to be something on that Baltimore sideline this weekend. I feel big Calais Campbell is just going to be unblockable for the interior of the Steelers line, especially if Kendrick Green plays. So, Laskers, with my new fun information that has nothing to do with the game involved, what are you seeing?
I kind of agree with you, but also at the same time, we have one of the best kickers in the league. I think it's going to come down to how well does Boswell kick, and I don't like saying this. I'd rather score a touchdown, but it's going to come down to how do the kickers do, because I think we can stop the Ravens before they can score. We've been pretty good in the red zone, and I think it's going to come down to who kicks better.
So this is like the one game where we don't have the kicker advantage, fair to say, Gingy?
Yeah, fair to say. I mean,
Is
Boswell's
up?
performing out of his mind, though. Hitting a 50-yard banger last week. It was cold.
Justin kicked
down
it. Was
there.
it a 66-yarder that man kicked to win? Is that right?
Yeah, he does that too. Have no advantage there. That dude, he's good of the
Boswell-
kickers.
Boswell is great, but Justin Tucker is like the GOAT of kickers.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gary Anderson, you no longer hold that title. I mean, this is going to be a fun game. You're looking at Baltimore. You're looking at, honestly, a very talented receiving core there with Bateman, who was a first-round pick, Hollywood Brown really showing up. Andrews is the type of guy who just, and he does every time we play him, just kills us. You look at the defensive side, pressure up the middle is what hurts the Steelers. They have Calais Campbell and some good blitzing middle linebackers and Patrick Queen. And why can't I think of the other guy? But both teams dealing with some injuries. Both teams have been very... I think the Steelers have performed to what expectations were. But Baltimore, you're talking a team people thought would be the one seed in the AFC with the slimmest of playoff hopes going into the week. It's the special teams you have to give advantage to. Duvernay's a really good kick and punt returner. Ray's been more likely to fumble the game away than make a big return. Chris Boswell's great. Justin Tucker's the man. Punting the ball, we might have a advantage with what's his name? Corliss Whitman, is that right? Someone help me here. Waitman? Something. Leave me hanging. Someone help!
I
don't know. I don't
Give me a
know.
minute. Goddamn.
Last minute ads here. Obviously,
I
he's
didn't
still
look
in
up
for
the
Presley
Baltimore
Harvin this
Ravens.
week.
Come on now.
No, our punter.
No, is he in Presley this week, Donkey?
I'd assume. I hope so, dude. That kid's been punting like 60-yard bombs every time he kicks it. And no offense, but I don't want the guy who's been an emotional wreck because his dad died. I mean, rightfully so, that dude's going to be all broken up and not there. I want the dude who's kicking.
Dustin Colwip is our punter. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong team. Sorry.
That's like last year we had Cole quit, and he can get cans because he was terrible.
It's Corliss Waitman.
There we go. Made us miss Jordan Berry, which, by the way, Jordan Berry's having a good year wherever he was punting. I think it was Chicago. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a fun game. This is going to be your AFC North football. This is going to be... Is the AFC North going to be the one division that doesn't get two teams in the playoffs? The Vikings, yes. I knew it was an AFC North team. AFC North, Jesus. NFC North team. Someone needs to be on correcting Donkey. There's too many brewskis being drunk. There is not enough knowledge being spread.
Fucking knowledge here, Donkey. I'll tell you what, for next week coming in, it's with the snot knocker being it's going to be a game, and it's going to be about the short pass game. Steelers getting into the red zone, the difference is going to be whether they're going to capitalize with 7 or 3. And that's going to be for both teams. They're going to get down there. Which defense is going to be able to run that bend not break attitude? You know, whoever gets 7s and whoever gets 3s, that's going to play a big difference in the outcome. And I think Pat Freiermuth is going to have to catch a ball in traffic and show that he's grown this game in order to be able to get it done. We'll wait and see whether he comes through or not. But I think we're going to need him, Donkey.
We're going to need Gingy. I don't. But you know what? I like your breakdown. I like what's going on there. I
need some more of that Najee game. Putting up some Madden stats.
6.8 a carry, I think. Like,
there's a first-round running back. Let's go.
Yeah, there is.
We need
potential showed when he has
from Ben.
Yards?
Yep.
Like yards per pass, or 504 yards in the game?
504 yards in the game. That'll get him to 4,000 yards for the season.
Buy another 12-pack. I'm going to walk my ass to the damn liquor because I ain't drunk that, Laskers. Last time I asked for a 500-yard Ben performance, we got our asses kicked.
That'll be 4,000 yards in the season. That's a good way to end it.
So Laskers, you turn into a constant contributor about midway the start of this season, but you are the big listener, one of the few super loyal from the beginnings. In March, I made a prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you remember what it was?
1.
Yeah, and this team is gonna fucking end 8-1. That's all I have to say. Mic drop, Gingy, to you.
Well, we'll see about that, Donkey. We'll see about all that.
Oh, you're not impressed at all that fucking 10 months ago I might have predicted this shit?
Super
Come on,
impressed,
Gigi.
right in there. But like I said, not pumped that that's the actual outcome. But like I said, I think with 2 games above that, we gotta have Donkey 8-1 means that we blew our only chance of getting into the playoffs. If we don't get into the playoffs, yes, we can certainly cite the Lions tie. Yes, several other times throughout the Steelers underachieved. But I'm a guy who likes to have the control, you know. They got to get the job done this week in order to be able to get in, right? If the Steelers end up blowing this one and the Colts lose, I'm going to be sick.
I don't know what to tell you.
So
15-12, Baltimore,
So for
8-1, baby.
For as happy as you are, and for as happy as I would be for you to call that spot on, there's a part of me that wants you to fail in that, and it ain't because I ain't caring for you.
My whole being wants me to fail. I call this Miracle Week because I have hope in the Jags. My whole being wants me to fail.
That's what I'm saying.
But there's something telling me, Gingy.
I need you to fail here, Donkey. I cannot have you being right. That's the problem. That's a big problem.
As the earlier conversation pre-stream happened, Gingy, the rules will change so I can win.
Fine. Change them to what? Not 9-1. That's what you change them to.
Now be 9 teams in the playoffs so that 8-1 I could still be happy.
Cool. That would make us all work there, but that's not going to happen for us. That's about as likely as the Chargers and the Raiders kneeling it out.
So there's a chance, you're telling me.
Yeah, there's always a chance, Donkey.
All right, this show has gone way off the rails. Laskers, I need some X factors and a prediction for the game.
Well, I was going to say, if the Chargers and Raiders kneel it out, there will be an 8th team in the playoffs, and it will be the Steelers. But
let's go.
We will be 9-7-1, and it'll be 24-18 Pittsburgh. And my X factor for the game is, I was talking about Ben, but that was kind of a joke. But it's going to be Najee. He's got to show up again, and we need 150 yards from him, young man.
No pressure. Gingy, you want to follow that one up?
2019 Pittsburgh, X Factor Freiermuth. Here we go, Steelers. That's the call.
You already got my score. 15-12 Ravens. X Factor's going to be... Let's see, who's going to break out for the Steelers this week? I'm going to put J.C. Hassenauer in there again, because if he actually gets the plays, he'll be the X Factor. If not, the fact he's not playing is going to be the X Factor, because... No offense, Kendrick Green, but we saw what a man who's just mediocre can do. So, yeah, you're way below that. So if you're hearing me, feel free to use your big, strong, 700-pound bench or squatting ass to push someone around this week, because that would be nice to see. With that, do you guys have anything else to add? Steelers, Ravens, prototypical AFC North football.
No, but are we going to call the other game this week?
Sure. Laskers wants to talk AFC North football. That's fair. We got backup quarterbacks going, Cincy and Cleveland. What you seeing?
I'm gonna go Bongals by 3.
Gingy.
Backup quarterbacks over there. I think the Bengals are riding into the playoffs, and honestly, I'm thinking Case Keenum. I do believe leads that Browns team right. Browns by 3.
I think the Bengals win by 14, and purely because that Browns team to me last week looked like a team that just had already quit on the year. But does anyone else feel like Baker Mayfield is Case Keenum? Like, does anyone else get that feeling that his game's exactly that way? And don't forget, Case Keenum, the really good year the Vikings had, they had with Case Keenum. Does anyone else get the feeling the Browns and Baker Mayfield is Case Keenum? Except he was drafted in the first round.
Pretty close.
Baker looked a lot better last year than he did this year. He still made mistakes. He still didn't look like a $30 million guy. He'll get a chance to start somewhere.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, Case Keenum probably could get a chance to start somewhere and probably should, albeit with some of the quarterback play I've watched specifically in, I don't know, New York.
Oof.
You can pick either team you want there.
Shots fired.
All right. So that's everything I have. You guys got anything to add before we get to shout-outs?
Nope.
Gingy?
Nope. We're rolling.
All right. Well, I got 2 shout-outs. I get to go first this week. Woohoo! Donkey! We got to go first. Najee Harris setting the Steelers single-season rookie record. Yes, I know, 16-game season as opposed to 14 games. I'm going to be the first one to point that out. But hey, you own the record now, kid. Congratulations. Number 2, TJ Watt. 20 sacks. No Steelers ever been there. Can he break the previous record by getting a Week 7 or a 17th game in the season? We'll have to find out. But definitely should be your deploy. You got to give a shout out to those 2 men. And last but not least, you can't forget Ben Roethlisberger. Come on now. It was great to see. It was fun. As my favorite moment of the game, I'm there holding back tears, sniffling, and Micah just turns to me and goes, "Daddy, what are you doing?" I'm trying not to play. Trying not to cry. Oscars to you.
I'm definitely gonna go Najee. That was awesome to see that he broke the single season record for a rookie. I agree with you. Yes, it'll end up being a 17 game season over a 14 game season, but it's still awesome. And also, it still was awesome seeing that stuff from Ben. And I'm pretty sure I can speak for Gingy. We were all in that teary eye thing. Our quarterback for so long, and we all love him. Gingy, to you.
Shout out to Ben Roethlisberger. As the boys said, it was a little misty last Monday night. All right, that's a tough pill to swallow, but all good things must come to an end sometime. Shout out to that boy. Second shout out, you know what? Shout out to you boys here. Donkey, Laskers, Donkey, me and you coming to the end of the second regular season here. If this is the last week of football for this year, fellas, it's been a hell of a time.
Excuse you.
What's that?
Excuse you.
I said if this is the last week of Steelers football
That's
year.
not what I heard. That's not what I heard.
If
Gotcha.
this is the last week.
Tracking.
If. Hopefully it's not. If. It's been a hell of a time calling them with you this regular season. Beginning to get stoked to hopefully call a playoff game. Let's go. Let's talk about that. But, like I said, if not, hell of a time talking, boys. Shout out to y'all.
It's been fun.
Sure, back at you, Gingy. With that, I guess it's time to let you know I am Viking Donkey. That's what Xbox tag. Hit me up, Viking_Donkey on Twitch and Twitter. Your daily dose of Donkey with Ginger is the YouTube channel. Leave us a like, leave us a comment, leave us a follow, leave us a hey. Don't know why I had to do that one. A little too many beers tonight, I guess. With that, we'll go to Laskers to tell you where you can find him.
You can find me at Laskers everywhere, and let's go Steelers. This is the biggest game of the year, biggest game of Ben's career. We got to get this win, and wave him if you got him. Gingy, to you.
Let's go Steeler Nation. If you hype for this one, are you a fan of Tom Brady? All right. AFC North football, snot knocker. I hated Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to say that. I hate them. I hate the Baltimore Ravens. I hope we go in there and just clean them right out this week. Boys, if you got them, you gotta wave them this week. Shout out Steelers Nation, Mutant Gingy. We talking football. We playing games. Rock out for the end of the regular season, boys.